To be honest, I didn't want to film today. I didn't have a topic for this week and it didn't work out that my motivation was kind of bipolar also this week. So I told that to my parents and my dad gave me an idea. He gave me this article to read and I read it, which is about us as humans being in these moral stages during our lives. And then after reading it, I found out that there are certain biblical characters that fit into every stage, and I'm going to use some of them. And so ultimately each stage is for a character, but it's also for me, well, ultimately of course you too, to see in what stage you are. And I like to call it the moral compass. Now, stage 1 is the toddler stage, but since we're using biblical characters, for this stage, the character is Pharaoh, more specifically Pharaoh during the time of Moses. Think about it. Pharaoh didn't let the Israelites go because he respected God. He let them go because he was in pain. Either it was the plagues like the frogs, the blood, the darkness. He only obeyed when the punishment got too hard. And ultimately he gave up, or should I say let them go, after the most precious thing was taken away from him, his own son. If you only pray when it gets hard or when you're only struggling and you only ask God for help during those times, you're most likely in the Pharaoh stage of your moral journey. Now, stage 2 is the deal maker, the sort of transactional stage that I like to call it that way. And Jacob fits very well into this stage. Before he wrestled with God, Jacob was the ultimate hustler, so to say. You can read his prayer in Genesis chapter 28. He basically says, God, if you protect me and feed me, then you will be my God. He signed a contract. He didn't have a relationship with God, more like a business deal. Of course, later on, we know he went through a very traumatic fatherhood, we could call it, and it was the consequences of what he did when he was younger. But ultimately, he felt like he did this transaction, but while God was going to help him. The thing is that we as humans fit in this role because we kind of say, God, if you help me with this, I will do this. And sometimes God may hold his end of the deal, but sometimes we don't. And now the stage 3 is, I would call it the people pleaser. You see, approval is very important in this stage. And the character for this one is King Saul. You see, Saul lost his entire kingdom for just one reason. In 1 Samuel chapter 15, he admits to Samuel with the following word, I have sinned. I have violated the Lord's command. And then continuing on, he says, I was afraid of the men, and so I gave in to them. He cared more about his army or his men liking him and approving him than God's command overall. And that wasn't just the reason, but the start of the downfall of his kingdom. Now for the stage number 4, I call it the robot stage. We'll get to there in a moment. You see, this is a stage where the rules that we have, we just go through them like it were normal. And it is normal, but the thing is, we go through them so habitually that we turn out to be like the older brother. Now, who's the older brother? Well, we have to go to the parable of Jesus, the prodigal son. You see, this guy, or this older brother, was, we could call it the perfect Christian. He never left home, he never partied, he never disobeyed. But when his younger brother came back and the father showed grace upon him, that's what snapped him and he became furious. He said, I've been slaving for you and never disobeyed your orders. He followed every rule, but he had no love. In other words, he was an anatomical robot. Because of this, we could also end up being like that when we go to church, when we think of other brethren in the church that way, that they don't deserve to have a chance to come back or to actually repent from their mistakes. Of course, I've never encountered anyone like that before, but I know they exist. And this is the scariest stage, and I think this is the stage that most of us have gone through, but have left and haven't stayed in a long period of time. So, for stage 4, are you the brother? Stage 5 in the moral stages is one of social contact, justice over law, so to say. And the character is none other than Queen Esther. This is where not validation like the stage with Saul, but this is something that you worry and search for the benefit of others, even when it will cost you. Not in a selfish act, but in one of self-service, just like Jesus did to us. You see, the law said that you shall not approach the king uninvited, and the penalty for this was death. You see, a stage 4 person, if you remember who that was the older brother, would have stayed in the room, following the rules. But Esther says these words from the Bible: "If I perish, I perish." She broke the protocol and ended up saving her people. She understood that life is more important than a decree or this law would ever be. And now we're at stage number 6, which is called the universal principles. And this can also be categorized as the human dignity. And there was no other character for this section than the Good Samaritan himself. You see, the priest and the Levite who passed them could be from stage number 4, the ones who followed the rules. They had rules that they couldn't help on certain days, or they couldn't just get their hands dirty on certain days. And you see, that's why they passed by the man who was dying on the road. You see, their religious rules prevented them from doing a decent, or should I say, small human act of mercy, or not even mercy, just dignity. But the person that did stop was the Samaritan. He didn't care about race, rules, or religion. He saw a human life, and that principle trumped everything else. He helped them not because he was going to get any benefit out of it, like it were on people who are on stage 2. He wasn't looking for approval, and he wasn't following the rules, of course, but he was starting to improve on. You see how these stages start to improve on one another, and you start to see a better morality in the person, or a better compass or understanding of what they have or where they're at, more importantly here. So where are we? And then after going through and reading all the other stages, you can conclude that there must be, or for me, a stage 7, which there is. It's called the agape stage. The stage of grace, even though agape means love, but we'll get to the significance of that. The character that fits into this stage is Hosea. And God told him to marry this woman. And the thing with this specific woman is that she would cheat on him and go with other men. And he would have to go and get her back. And this was God telling him, how is the relationship with the people with God? It's the same. We are the woman, and well, the prophet is God. It was a physical example in a personal experience to understand what it was like to be in a relationship with God in that moment, in that time, and still today. And it was to show us what God is like. You see, stage number 6 is so beautiful because it's just love your neighbor, and in that sort of friendship, respect everyone, love everyone kind of environment. But stage number 7 is loving the person that betrays you. It's Jesus on the cross, looking at the people that are killing him and saying, "Father, forgive them. It isn't fair, nor is it logical. It's just grace." But here's the most important thing out of all these stages, which later on we'll see where you will fit or where I fit in. Where is Jesus in all of this? I used to think that Jesus was the one waiting for us in those last 2 stages, stages 6 and 7, possibly 5. shouting us from the end and for us to journey up in some sort of metaphorical ladder. But the article, when I read it again, it says that God meets us wherever we're at in the stage. If we're in the first, second, fourth, fifth, sixth, wherever we are, He is there with us, along with us during the path to improve and to possibly continue improving and moving on to the second stage. That means Jesus is walking with us through the journey, through the stages of morality. It means Jesus is walking with us in the path, in finding in what stage we are in. If you are in stage 1 and you're terrified of punishment, He doesn't scold you. He walks right next to you and whispers to you, I am with you, do not fear. When you're in stage 2, trying to make some deals, He doesn't leave. He stays and He teaches that He's a father, not a merchant. And each one you could see that it helps us build up to ultimately end up, hopefully, into a stage 6 and even better a stage 7, which are the hardest. Ultimately, what I'm getting at, He's not waiting for you at the destination, which we could say it's stage number 7. He is there guiding you, helping you lift that foot and to take that next step and to, in a way, mature morally. So stop climbing or walking this path alone. You can't do it. You could end up stuck in fear. You may get stuck following rules unconsciously. But if you look to your side, He's there with you, helping you continue on. Can't say anything else besides thanking Him for each week that He not only gives me, but He gives you. And like always, another week, thanks to Him again, thanks to God, 1% better.